Welcome to my humble abode. I am Yorkie the Talespinner, and this is Tales over, well, coffee flavoured Starbucks energy drinks. Sometimes a regular coffee's not enough. And this is us returning to where the water tastes like wine. As we look to work our way down the eastern seaboard. Hear a story. Kindly old man sharing his shade on the bridge with you tells you a few rambling stories, some true seeming, some conspicuously less so. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place going all the way back to Indian times. Strange stuff happens round here. Can all be true. God, it is, he scoffs, and then, as if to prove himself, he launched into a story about the four identical men, born to two different mothers, who confuse themselves among each other. And this one, you know, it's the story of the two men who each mistook each other for the missing brother. But wilder and stranger than you remember, I know that one. See then, the old man laughs, so I ain't pulling your leg, it's all true. And so we trod on over to Maryland. Looks like there's nothing in Delaware. Dover isn't a city in this game, I guess.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good. We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army. It's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand.
War can be brutal.
Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
Got the lighthouse keepers near Portland, Maine. No. Hey, that was a good omen, wasn't it? The seagulls and the fishermen.
For a moment there, just a moment, I felt better about it all too. The future's the issue, ain't it? Great war leaves us nothing to go back to, plucking up the hope and leaving us only with the vile and the unforgiven. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
See what else we have. Got a delicate woman in a small town. That's a possible one. Might be a nice one. The winged goat and the pissing water.
Got nightmares enough without hearing that kind of horror.
Okay. Okay.
Mods say that we only get as much sadness as we make. Paul's ghost has provided me a little extra. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
The bridge builders, maybe?
Oh, come on. That doesn't sound real. Freedom is getting paid what you deserve, and getting enough to get by. Freedom is the ability to be free of pain. Tell me a happy story.
The two lighthouse keepers. They were friendly with each other.
I liked that one.
Good.
There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. The past doesn't even feel like it happened. It feels like it's happening
That's
in
true.
every moment, in every slumber. When the memories come back to you, do they clutch at you, at your heart? Tell me a happy story.
Have we got any more in the bag? I don't really have a lot of others, do I? Maybe you like that.
I don't mean to be rude, but civvies don't understand what real tragedy is. My wishes come true? Well, if I could wish for anything, it'd probably be for a nice, plentiful garden away from everyone else. My own land, my own laws.
Yeah.
Here's the sun. I've got to go. I'm headed up the road this way. Will our paths cross?
Maybe.
Days come and go and the terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at 'em. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
Just a story and a journey. Mason's Block. Right. Heading to Washington. We'll pick up the stories around the edge before we head in. And that's the Hobbit train. I guess we're hopping into Washington. Let's look at these shining buildings in the direct sunlight. You feel like an ant crawling among the tombs of giants. Away from the monuments, though, you find a city that's a little more human. Go to the store. Get some apple juice.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands. He looks up as you approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs... Well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me. He holds out a brown envelope.
Sure, I'll deliver that for you.
The letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street. But the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you. There's no J Street.
Keep looking.
Over here. A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley. Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall. I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right.
Hello.
As you round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket.
Knock on Gibson's
The
door.
man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter. I think it's from my son. I don't see so well anymore. Will you read it to me?
Sure will. I ain't gonna
You
lie.
tear the letter open. He fights it, but his face crumbles. Tears roll down his cheeks. It's better to know. I've been waiting a long time for this. His shaking hand takes the letter. Thank you for telling me.
No problem, old timer. Always better to know, even if it's hard. Let's earn a little money. You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. It's just panhandle. No luck today. Maybe your spot was bad. Let's move on. And we can leave. We could hop a train. There's a crossing there. Let's go pick up the story over at the church. Maybe. Over in Maryland.
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours. You got a light, friend?
Sure, my friend.
You offer a match, which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. Thanks, he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip.
Where are you going?
Don't rightly know where I'm going. You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. Don't rightly know how I got going, either.
Why?
They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. Damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet. He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
My friend, it's brought pleasure to many, business to some, and destitution to others. Talking of Armagnac. Gonna walk cross country, I think. Listen to some music on the way. Cross them old tracks. Come on.
The hotel is an old manor house that's seen better days. A grand structure surmounted by a gambrel roof that dwarfs the house itself. It's eerily still, but for two boys at play. Each one so small and light, they barely leave tracks in the deep snow.
See what's happening.
They seem old for their size, around 10 years old. Though their clothes are mismatched, they're perfectly identical, down to the pattern of freckles on their pale cheeks. They conduct their games in eerie silence.
Make your way inside.
The clerk behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn. But night approaches, and the price is low. Just before you shut the room door, there they are, the twins,
Strange.
staring at you from the corridor.
Strange little Benjamin Buttons. Two of them at once.
In the morning, as you leave, the clerk asks, "Did you sleep well?" Too tired to lie, you tell him about the noise outside your door, the trampling of small feet on the corridor outside, the dreams disturbed with violent and hideous images. "That's odd," he says, weak-eyed. "There are no children staying with us."
A haunted hotel, huh? I'll make an interesting story on the trail. You smell the campfire before you see it. A young man turns a roast bird on a makeshift spit. Wandering here, so am I. Stay a while. Folks like us gotta share when times are good, right? He shares his lunch, fresh cooked fowl, not only an hour ago. We'll move on. We're moving up north, is that where we are? Where's the ice hurdy? That's for me. We got Pittsburgh up ahead. And it looks like we've got stories up near the heading towards the lake. See what we got over here, my friend.
The edge of summer has turned the ocean choppy and misanthropic, and the skies miserably gray. The boardwalk prophetess lured you into her tent with a promise to read a fortune for free. Seems like business has slowed to a crawl already.
Let's see what she has.
Before you lie the instruments of her profession. There's tarot cards, Rider-Waite, but also Marseille for traditionalists, rosary beads and costume jewelry, and of course, the centerpiece, a great glass globe.
The looking glass, the fortune-telling globe, the crystal ball. Listen to your fortune.
With practiced theatricality, she goes directly for the crystal ball, letting her eyes unfocus as though she can see a great distance into it. She brings up names, places, asks if you've known someone called John, if you have a relative in Newark.
All easy guesses here.
You latch on to what she says, and together you dance towards some insights about your romantic prospects. It's relieving to meet an honest charlatan instead of the ghouls and ghasts of the road. You might even say you're having fun, until she abruptly stops talking.
Tarot caster, what's wrong, my friend?
Your eyes, she says, her voice suddenly drained of the bassy drama that was her stock in trade. You've met him. You've seen him, too. You carry him with you.
Are we talking about my wolf friend? You miss me.
The words that come out of your mouth are not your own. They seem unwilling or unable to form properly out of a human throat. They're more like snarls, warning noises of a vicious animal. The glass globe shatters. Your vision is hazy, and your body is not your own. You came far to get away from me, the voice lodged inside you says. But this one has a way of wandering. The fortune teller has collapsed, cowering. Consider your debt to me repaid.
Intriguing. And I black out.
When you come to your senses, you're lying face down on the rough wood of the boardwalk, sore and weak. An empty patch of wood, cleaner than the surrounding planks, is all that remains of the fortune teller's tent.
Move on. Indeed. A cursed teller of fortune. We should have avoided her own mayhem.
Low tide on a moonless night. This beach is long, stretching toward a receding sea. In the darkness, the sand seems coarse and gray, alien. The stars are dim and distant.
Look to the horizon, always the horizon.
It outshines the stars with its presence, a streak of sickly colored light, leaving a trail of distorted fire. It slowly creeps along the sky like a vast worm, though you know that, given the distance, it must be moving at great speed.
Keep looking.
Its parabola heads south to north. In the far distance, just for a second, a boardwalk town is engulfed in light. With a rumble, its street lamps and windows dim, then go dark. All that you can see emanating from there is an otherworldly color that you can't quite name.
And so we follow the lake into Ohio. Toward the town of Cleveland. Should we progress in the Midwest or head back to the coast? I think may head back to the coast.
She's getting married, the soldier tells you. The two of you observe the church from the dusty road, straining to hear the faint joy of the ceremony transpiring within. I fought for 10 years to come home because she said she'd be here, waiting for me. And look, can you believe it?
Yes, so things happen.
So what am I supposed to do? What does she expect? That I should throw myself from the nearest cliff? Walk into the ocean? He snorts, sets off down the road.
Wait behind.
You wait a while. Eventually, the bride emerges from the church, alone, and looks out over the cornfield. When she sees you, and only you, her posture falls in a full-body sigh. She picks up the hem of her dress and goes back inside.
Told you, boy, a little patience wouldn't have hurt you there. We'll make camp shortly, but not right now. I want to pick this up, make my way to Cleveland.
The plants grow and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes. As the liquid soaks in, each plant pushes up from the soil, unfolding and stretching for the sky.
That's miraculous, and a tale for the road, of course.
He turns to you. It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants survive, they don't grow fast enough to fill people's bellies. He He smiles. My miracle formula will change that.
How does it work?
He shakes his head. I'm not giving up my secrets that easily. The state will pay a lot of money for this. He shakes the vial. He tears off a leaf. Here, try some.
Take a taste.
It's just bitter at first. But as you swallow, the fibrous mass burns in your throat. You fight to hold it down, and your stomach knots tight when the plant matter hits it. You cough and hiccup. The man looks at you, curious. What do you think?
Tastes like unwashed death, my friend.
He waves a hand. Well, yes, there are some kinks to work out, but people are starving. They can't be fussy. It won't be long before no one around here goes hungry again. Your stomach protests. You feel like you'll be hungry again very soon indeed.
Indeed, there's no point in making food that makes them throw up. Frankenstein by Jordan Miner. Chapter 1.
Why, hello there. Look like that's a heavy bag you're carrying. Let me get that for you. I insist.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You see this uniform? It means you can trust me to make sure this is the most comfortable journey you've ever had in your life. Who am I? Well, I'm no George, I'll tell you that. But that's not important. This trip is about you, friend. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Let me see what we can do. The shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops?
Whew, that's a wild one, all right. Authority. Hopefully people who ride in a Pullman car feel a little of that. It's about more than a train ride. And not everyone knows what it's like to be the boss, to know what it feels like to be skillfully served. Pullman porters give you a taste, so boss George Pullman will know you'll be back for more. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any?
The two lighthouse keepers near Portland, Maine. Always a good yarn.
Positive attitude. That's what I like to hear. The past, that's a tricky thing. Yes, porters may remind you of a certain type of way folks of our type used to be. There's no fight in that, just happily working past it. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Here's some brick builders.
That's a tall one. Don't pull my leg, okay? If you're looking for freedom, just think about how magnificent a train is, how the railroad binds this country together. Hop on and go anywhere. That's freedom, and that's my life. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got me?
Telling a curse. Well, not happy. In fact, self tip. This is a real one.
Just like I told you, friend. Miles of smiles. Yeah, I got a few miles on it, but I don't think I'll be hearing that phantom train anytime soon. Doesn't mean I don't make sure to always listen, just in case. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Where is it? Hmm. That's more mystery than excitement. How about this?
Not sure my brothers will find that one particularly scary.
Oh, you wanted scary? I could have gone different then.
Well, my wishes have come true, that's for certain. When I was a boy, a Pullman porter was the best thing a black man could be. Smart, handsome, well-dressed, and with a salary in his pocket. So you don't see me complaining.
The world is a-changing, my friend.
Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say? You must excuse me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
You too, my friend. Oh, the Ohio River. Ah, we're heading the wrong way. It's her. Well time. Heel time.
You come across a girl picking wild blueberries. She smiles and greets you.
On in.
She offers you some from her birch bark basket.
Well, thank you, young lady.
You reach in the basket for blueberries, but pull out a handful of small, smooth stones, all the colors of the rainbow. The snickering girl runs into the trees as fast and light as a rabbit.
Try throwing the stone.
When the stones reach the top of their arc above your head, they turn into butterflies, all the colors of the rainbow. Your heart leaps in surprise.
That's strange. Kindly old man sharing the shade on the bridge. You tells you a few rambling stories, some true seeming, some conspicuously less so. All true, can all be true. Sure it is, and then he as if to prove himself launched into a story about the blessed lighthouse sanctuary, where souls in love could find respite, and this one, you know. Story of the two lighthouse keepers, but wilder and stranger than I remember. Well, that one. Alright, on we go.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones over the waters of this land.
Muddling through the dark, you stumble into the path of the white deer. Its beauty strikes you at once. It is something otherworldly, beyond borders, a moon swimming in the void. Human shouts not far away break the spell. The deer's ears prick up. This thing is being hunted.
Help it.
You know a way out of here. As the hunter's cries get louder, you approach the deer carefully, palms outstretched. As you grow close, your features become clearer in the light of the deer's aura. It bolts into the path of an oncoming train.
Fear a terrible thing. And time to count. Franklin, Chapter 2.
It's a funny thing, someone looking right through you. But don't lie to me, friend. I know you want to know the truth, what it really means to be a porter. Well, I can tell you it's more than making white folks happy. That's just how it's supposed to look. But you go on so long being how you're supposed to, you're not quite sure how to go back to what you are. Though I suppose I can give it a try. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got me?
There's seagulls for you, my friend.
A positive attitude. That's what I like to hear. I guess the future's in our hands. Nobody had ever seen organized black folks before the Brotherhood came along. It's on us to make sure that's how it keeps on going. See, I spend a lot of time thinking, will we be the first black union or the only one? You got
Ain't
any
your
stories
first
with
one,
a bit of
friend.
excitement to them?
Clamor in Boston.
So, does that one scare you? Not sure about me. The past. We porters have to leave the way we used to think behind. Before, we were all just worrying about how to make it through the next day, the next 10,000 miles. But together, we gotta put what's behind us, and keep it there. Now that we've got the Brotherhood, we porters have a bigger future to think about. Have any optimistic tales?
Let's see what we got. How about this Miracle Grove potion?
Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. Home for a porter is the next train station. It's a warm Baker heater stove in the middle of cramped living quarters. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
How about a winged goat? Will that help you?
Not sure my brothers will find that one particular sadness. That's one thing we porters can't let show. And believe me, it's hard. You get about 3-4 hours of sleep on average, and that comes out of your pay. Miles of smiles ain't much more than pretty words. It's hard to keep on smiling when you can barely keep your eyes open.
That's true.
Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a change.
Well, don't know about make you laugh, but here's a story about Leatherman.
Oh, that's a good one. Very good.
He likes it.
It's hard to have faith in a person if you never really know him. And let me tell you, it's hard to really know a porter. At least to know more than what he wants you to know. You can let him completely into your life, and he'll keep you in the dark about his. Don't want to hold you here if you need to be going. I've got to be going in the morning too. The next leg of my trip takes me along the rails this way. Where are you headed?
Don't know yet.
If we cross paths again, I'd like to tell you more of the truth about what it's like to be a porter and what it's like to be in the Brotherhood. Keep an eye out for me, all right?
You got it, my friend. You're around Franklin. Now, we can go hop the train. Like there might be another tail that I would... No, we don't need that. Don't need to go with a filly. I'm heading north. These folks are setting up cooking tent in the corner of a fairground. Beyond them, bigger tents rise like clouds. You want to make some cash? And dress? And long, hot day serving funnel cakes and busting tables in the dining tents. But you're well paid. Let's move on. Head down across the mountains. And along northeastern flats. Line through the hills. Back to 95. And then south from Washington. Took a bit of a detour there, but we're fine. Where's that train going? Charlotte! Nice. Good journey there. As you hop off the box, you suddenly feel the heavy hand of a railroad bull on your shoulder. Now, where do you come from, he asks, in a way that indicates he doesn't care. Don't mess with Rio Grande's cars. The beating that ensues is brutal. Go on. Pick up a story. You wait in the soup line for over an hour. It's barely crawling along. You round the corner of the building and see far away a lone pair of nurses, struggling to ladle out soup to hundreds. You've been waiting here for a while longer, sighs the mother in the line beside you. Seems like it. You and her get to talking. After a while, the topic drifts into a strange place, and she starts telling you about the cloud that tinged with a colour no human had ever seen. You recognise it as a story about the light from the sky, but way more outrageous than your version. You tell her your version. That's not as exciting, she says diplomatically. I mean, it sure sounds realer than what I heard. I think Toby likes mine best. She bounces her child encouragingly on her hip. Toby is too hungry to smile. Move on.
I'm gonna keep elastic tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and
The shanty sits on the shore like a lie on a con man's tongue, crowded by thick-spined trees. There's an old man on its porch, and a child, and what looks like 1,000 alligators knotted across the property. My love's being stubborn, sighs a voice behind you.
And they always.
Washed in the half-light, the voice's owner is a certain strange shade of handsome. He leans a shoulder against a tree, smiles at you. You gotta help me talk some sense into her. All I need is 5 minutes. She won't let me through.
You do it yourself. Get some courage.
That look on his face. It could strike down God from their hallowed halls. He exhales, a thin cut of noise, before he dips his chin. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I should. Maybe I should tell her sorry like I should have done 10,000 years ago.
Want some
Come
help?
on, then. He crooks a finger at you, and then nimbly, he prowls up to the borders of the house, picking his way through the alligators. Woman, come out of your house now. A voice ricochets through the air, wry and wreathed in warning. Ain't nothing good'll come of that. At the reprimand, the man turns to you, questioning look, cocked.
Not listening to encouragement. Let's sing.
You open your mouth. What comes out isn't a word, but the note of a song you'd not been taught. At the noise, the gators twitch like you'd run barbed wire along their bellies. Go home and leave the gators, says a voice from inside. You ain't wanted here.
Keep singing.
Well, you know that's not how it's done. When a man loves a woman, she stays with him forever. Now you come out now, for my friend sings a bayou down to his death. The man and child do nothing. You keep singing. All three of you cut loose from personal choice. A woman emerges. Blunt black hair, hungry eyes, face full of warning. This ain't your fight, stranger, she tells you gauzily, storm cloud eyes holding your own. Suddenly, your throat's your own again.
And let's let them talk.
Late, she nods at you, gratitude in the curve of her mouth. Whatever you hear, don't turn around. Her concern proves unfounded. The alligators prove surprisingly quiet about their business. The soldier sits in the dirt with his legs splayed out, like a child would sit. Beneath the tattered fabric of his antique uniform, several open wounds fester in the hot sun. Lend a hand, traveler?
Come on, friend. Let me help you out.
You kneel in front of the soldier. His body is marked with bullet holes, along with deeper wounds that could be from knives or bayonets. Maggots squirm inside the raw, red flesh. About time I earned an amputation. You seen any bluebellies around?
Bluebellies?
The soldier leans in, uncomfortably close to inspect your features. Were his pupils solid white before now? He tilts his head, narrows his eyes, sniffs you. What are you, stranger?
Pardon?
A shadow falls on the soldier's face. You damn Yankee! He pulls you in by the wrist and drives a bowie knife into your gut. As the blade bites your flesh, the soldier stares into your eyes, his body dispersing into the wind like a cloud of dandelion seeds.
Move on. You met Direwolf collecting his doing okay. We died. Direwolf chapter 2.
Bad luck again, but there's no shame in dying. Everyone does it. You still have a job to do. But if you want to learn anything more from me, now's the time. And I'm sure we'll end up seeing more of each other before you're through.
Strange clamor in Boston.
On the one hand, the past is dead and gone. On the other, It seems like it always has lessons to teach that no one ever learns.
The boy who ran away.
You met my family. They're yours now, I suppose. Who do you think we were playing with? They're an odd lot, but whose family isn't?
Indeed. The picnic keeper around Philadelphia.
People love this country. But in so many ways. Unrequited, passionate, desperate, innocently, despite it all.
The girl with the strange stones.
There's so much here. Have you seen the vastness? The fields and the deserts and the lakes, and the woods, looming mountains and the vast canyons. It feels like too much for one place to contain.
And the strange street lost in time.
It's like there's a big aching wound out there. I wonder if this country has ever been anything but sad. Go on your way, Seeker. I'm sure we'll meet at least once more. Think about what we've discussed, and good luck on the rest of your task.
And head to Virginia. Actually, it's not. Right now, it's time for me to wish you farewell. May you have a blessed day and enjoy your caffeine of choice. And I'll join you next time as we pick up more tales on the road, where the water tastes like wine.